I was craving Mexican food, so I Googled, and there's this restaurant, Noma's. And I Googled it, plugged it in, got there, and couldn't find the place. Because you know how GPS sometimes are, like you're there, but you're not really there. So I asked him where the parking lot was.
She hit on me.
And then I was like, I literally said, excuse me, I was driving. And he was walking. I said, where's the parking lot? And he said, it's valet. So I said, okay, thanks. We walked in and we were waiting for a place, a seat. And we were just standing there and we realized, we just kept on talking and we realized we weren't with anyone. So he asked, do you want to sit together? So I was like, yeah, sure. And then we just started talking.
Grew up and you're told don't talk to strangers, but this is a pretty decent conversation.
Yeah, like it was amazing. We ordered the same thing, and I finished my food in 5 minutes, and I was so embarrassed because I looked and he only ate. It was 3 fish tacos, right? I finished mine. I was looking at his plate, and it was a taco and a half left. And he didn't even finish his food. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to talk and scarf down food.
I was like, I'm hungry. I'm not really a, salad eating girl. So, yeah, I was embarrassed afterwards. Like, I thought of it. I was like, what was I doing? I should have at least pretended. But
it's not very often that you get hit on by
whatever.
a woman, a beautiful
so
woman.
let's have. I'm gonna let him have that. No, I said, I don't know. I really don't know what happened. It's meant to be.
Yeah, now she calls me all the time.
Yes. We talked about everything, and
like almost 2 hours conversation.
After a conversation, right, I walked down, I was like, oh, he's a cool guy. And then the valet brings our cars, right? And so I saw his car for the first time.
She fell in love with the car.
I was like, oh God, no.
Chick magnet.
No, I was like, ugh, this is done, this is over. He drives a black Corvette. And of course in my head, player, show off, all those things, right? So I was like, bye, nice to meet you. I was on the phone. I told my sister, I was like, I met this guy and he's really nice, but she was like, but what? I said, he drives a black Corvette, so I'm not going out with him again. She said, what color was the car? And then I said black. She said, at least it's not red. So go out with him again. So I said, okay, I guess, yeah.
I don't know what to do.
I knew that was going to definitely be the way it played out. I was like, wow, this is an amazing person, and I think this is my soulmate. Definitely, at first sight, it was, wow, this is an amazing woman.
It wasn't a time, a moment, it was a feeling. Ronson is the first man, I told him this, who's ever made me cry tears of joy. And the other men in my life have always made me cry, but he's the first one who's made me cry tears of joy. And it was just this feeling that I just felt complete and peaceful. So I knew he was the one, but you never know if the guy's gonna propose to you or not. So I was hoping that he would. But yeah, it was pretty soon. Like even with our first conversation and the succeeding first dates, it was just different from my, it was just different.
magic, mystery.
Most looking forward to, I guess, for the preparation part to be all behind us and everything in place, and it just happens without any extra thought. That's probably it.
Fascinating. How can
For me, it's the actual walking down the aisle. You know, every girl always thinks of that, like, oh my God, you know, that's the scene in your head walking down the aisle when you get married. So I'm looking forward to that particular moment where, you know, everybody, the bridal march, and like, wow, I'm going to be part of, you know, the women who have gone through this, and just seeing me for the first time in my wedding dress.
Just don't want to have any true TV scenes with that, though.
No. Definitely not.
magic? Light of love in your eyes shining down on me. Hypnotizing.
19,000 miles apart as far as upbringing goes, but almost identical family values, God-centered, respect for parents and siblings, and do everything you can for those that are dearest and nearest to you. And I had that growing up, and she had that as well, so there's no differences there.
So that's why it wasn't difficult, even coming from different cultures, and the parenting styles are different, but at the end of the day, like, we're very similar in values.
Ooh, magic. Magic. Magic.
Growing up, I had a couple of things. First was I'm going to be a doctor since day one. First grade, I knew it was going to happen. My first grade teacher went to my med school graduation, along with my 8th grade science teacher and my AP science teachers in high school. So there were some things that I just knew was going to happen, and the family dynamic, the picture that I had in my head, it was, I guess it didn't have a face, but it had qualities, characteristics, and she embodies all of those qualities and characteristics. Now, the only thing that's changed between then and now is back then I wanted 8 kids, and now I'll be thankful for 1, 2, maybe 3. I take 3.
He's not Filipino. Because, you know, culturally, you think that you end up with someone. It's funny, in the Philippines, it's an archipelago, right? So it's different. It's 3,000 islands or something like that. So where you're from, where you're born, you typically think you're going to be, you'll marry someone from that area who speaks the same dialect, etc., etc. And even if you're Filipino, you'd think you'd still group with the same kind. And then, you know, never imagine meeting Ronson years after, thousands of miles from where I was born, and meeting someone like him. But it's just that, like, he's not Filipino, that's it. But everything else that I have imagined or prayed for, I shouldn't say all of it, because he's gonna be big-headed. Like, most of it he has. So I'm really blessed.
I think I like the way she carries herself. It's not so much what she does, it's the way she does it. There's no one word to describe it. It's the whole package. Family values, spirituality, career-mindedness, and the desire to be a partner, someone to help you navigate obstacles throughout life. And she's been my partner.
We're both blessed. You know how sometimes you can see that one is blessed more than the other, that type of thing? Like, in our case, I feel like we're equally blessed to have found each other. So I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my life with him.